Hello.
Hey, well, anybody there?
I think Joe is about to walk in, and
Oh, good
then
deal.
Bob said he was coming in person, so we'll see.
Okay. I'll hold on then.
How's it going, sir?
Good, how are you?
Doing all right. Okay. Oh, I have the blurry thing on. Hold
Oh,
on.
maybe we should do the other end of the table because of the
Well, this is because of that blur.
light.
It's blurred.
But it's also we're back.
Oh yeah,
So-
that's pretty bad. All right, maybe we should, maybe we should to that side.
Sit profile style.
Yeah.
A little wet.
That's better.
Can everybody hear me? I
I
can't
can hear you, Bob. Good to see you.
Okay, there we go.
Councilman, good to see you.
Good to see you. Who's that? Logan?
Oh, Logan, yeah, hey,
Oh,
sorry.
I can't meet next
Got
to
the wrapping up dinner with the newborn.
Oh, congratulations.
Thank you, thank
Yeah.
you. Let's see.
We got a baby due in 2 days, so
2 days.
we'll
Okay, I'll keep an eye out.
yeah.
Well, I made you host. You're all set.
Great. You want to take the roll, Shelley?
Sure. Michael,
Excused,
Rachel,
excused,
Cara. Here. Raphael, she resigned.
excused,
Logan,
Here,
Marissa. Here. Bob,
here.
Joe,
Here.
and we've got Tim Dodd and Will Charles. We do have a quorum.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Let's get our, what do I want to say? The minutes out of the way, and then we can go to the agenda. Do we have any comments or additions to the minutes? Got it. None being heard, the chair will entertain a motion that we approve the minutes as presented. Do I have a,
I'll move to approve.
okay, Logan? A second? Kara or Marissa?
I can second.
Marissa seconds. All in favor, say aye.
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 Any opposed? Hearing none, the minutes are approved as presented. With that, let us move on to Tim and the summary of the city council and where we're headed with the sustainability.
Great, thanks everyone. Thanks, Bob. So I believe Shelley sent last week the council item. So it did go before council as an ordinance for the first reading last week. And it's going before for a second reading next week on the 16th, I believe. So essentially what it did was basically, or what it will do if it's approved, is basically in the city code, it will formally change the name of this commission, and will also change the scope. So it'll match the changes that you made in your bylaws. And so then after that we'll be good to go. And so I have a few things I wanted to kind of bring up about some next steps, but I don't know, Councilmember Anderson, if you wanted to share anything from the council meeting.
No, I think it passed unanimously. There may have been one council member gone, but there was just a lot of support for it, and especially, some of the council members that have been around a while and have seen how KB has kind of struggled, I think, a little bit with knowing its place in the city and kind of wanting to be a sustainability commission, but not quite having that in its in its enabling ordinance. It was just really encouraging for council to move forward on this. I think several of us have wanted something like this for quite some time. So I was happy that the board was supportive of it and happy that council was supportive of it. So I'm sure it will pass on second reading.
Great, thank you. Great, so what I thought, well, actually, I'll pause to see if there are any questions before I kind of move into kind of talking about what the next steps would be. Okay. Great, so I think what this commission had talked about originally is maybe using the next few months, so basically the fall of 2021, to essentially get up to speed in the sustainability plan. So what I thought I could do is basically maybe share some ideas about what I think that might look like, and then see what you think. So I know a few months ago, and I feel like it's been now maybe 4 months since I've been coming to these commissions and getting to know all of you. So a couple months ago, I think we sent you the sustainability plan that council approved in April, and I talked a little bit about it, but I thought that a good starting point would be a deep dive into the sustainability plan. And that's something that I could do at the next meeting or whenever you'd like me to do it. I could do it in, depending on your other agenda items, as short as 20 minutes and as long as 45 or an hour. But I thought it might be helpful as kind of a starting point, so that you all know kind of the mechanics of the structure of the plan, and also the goals that are included, how it was written, and the background. So I just wanted to put that out there and see if that would be a logical starting point for the transition.
Sounds good to me.
Okay.
Yeah, I think that'd be great. I'd like to be brought up to speed a little bit on what, what other sustainability commissions are doing and where they have their hands.
Okay.
I'd like to
Great.
see us keep moving as much as possible. I'm trying to think. Our next meeting, we will also be looking at the hazardous waste, and that might take a few minutes, but I think it would be doable if you could have that ready for us in September.
Sure, and we can get the plan sent to you this week again, so that you all have it way before the meeting.
Right.
So what I thought then maybe after, one thing that came up in I think 2 discussions ago is maybe doing a deep dive after the overview into certain parts of the plan, to certain goals. So I guess my thought process was, if we go over it in detail next month, you could maybe share, okay, I'd like to learn more about the water goal. I'd like to learn more about, Dr. Cog's involvement. And that would allow me to wrestle up some guest speakers in those topics to come maybe in October and November. So that was kind of what I was thinking about the transition.
Okay, that sounds good.
So bring a couple ideas next in September to Tim.
Yeah, exactly. So after we kind of go over the whole plan of then saying, hey, I'd like to learn more about this area, and then that will give me at least a month or 2 to make sure I can coordinate schedules with, subject matter experts so they can come before the commission.
Cool, that sounds great.
Yeah.
Great, and that could, obviously it's up to the commission, but what I was thinking is, again, next month would be the overview. And then a couple months, maybe depending on, what topics you'd like to hear more about, maybe October and November, maybe October, November, and December would be when, we have guest speakers come in and do deeper dives into different parts of the plan. And then the next stage, I was thinking after that, so depending, starting maybe in December or January, would be after you've kind of gotten a handle of the plan, to go back to the bylaws that you developed, and to basically kind of start to create or think about, creating the structures to accomplish all of that work. So, how you would solicit opinions from the community, how would you create your reports that you plan to do to council, and things like that. So that's what I was thinking. Kind of the third step would be in the winter of kind of just creating those structures. And then hopefully, if the sustainability coordinator position is created, I think the great hope was that they would be in place by February. Obviously, there's a lot of variables there. So if we are fortunate enough to get funding for that, then I would see the fourth step would be them being introduced to you and then them starting to take over being the liaison to this commission. So I just wanted to point out and thank Will and Shelley for, I think the understanding is that we'll kind of tag team it, I think, between now and January. And that community development will still be there to support the programs. And then when it moves into the city manager's office in January, most of it will be, some of it will be me, and then some of it will be, you know, again, if it's funded, the sustainability coordinator.
That sounds doable. So do you think that's feasible to have them by February? Or do you think that's your optimistic assessment?
Yeah, that's the optimistic assessment. So if it does receive funding, we'll know, you know, in about a month and a half, 2 months or so. And we could probably post for it at some point in January, or sorry, at some point in December, knowing that we'll have funding for it in January. So I think February, and then of course, depending on who it is, you know, they'll have to give notice likely, or, you know, plan things out, and so they'll need a few weeks. So I think mid-February is probably the ideal state. Hopefully it won't be a lot. Hopefully March would be the latest that they'd be on board.
Okay. That just gives us an idea of, you know, how fast we can go, or we would probably be more dependent on you anyway, starting in January, it sounds like to me. Is that correct?
Yeah, most likely in January it'll be me, and then, you know, we'll see where things go with that. But yeah, the kind of agreement I think that we had, and please will correct me if this is wrong, but I think the agreement we had worked out with community development is that we would kind of do it together through the end of the fiscal year, and then I would move into the city manager's office in January.
Yep, that was my understanding as well. Happy to help as much as you need.
Yeah, I appreciate it.
Sounds good.
All right, so we'll get the plan back out to you tomorrow. And certainly if you have questions before then that you would like to, you know, either tee up for the September meeting, or questions that you have that you want me to answer before then, I'm happy to do that.
Well, thanks, Tim. That sounds good.
Great.
Thank you. So we will be possibly using emails and stuff back and forth and exchanging ideas, or possibly more as necessary between now and September then, right? And tracking how council is doing with it.
Exactly, yeah, and we can, I'll update you next week, the second reading, if it is approved then. And then again, yeah, if you, obviously with the open meeting laws, if you just wanna, you know, if you email me directly, that's obviously fine, and I can respond to you directly. But we'll make sure that you get a copy of the plan tomorrow.
Great. Okay,
Great, thanks so much for your time.
Thanks, Tim.
Thank you.
thanks, Tim.
Yeah.
That's great. I think that's moving forward, so we're transitioning. That's a good thing. The next thing on the agenda will be the upcoming hazardous waste. I saw the Citizen today, and we're on for September 18th and the 25th. And what I wanted to clarify on that, are we working to get volunteers from the community to help with that? Or have we?
Yeah, my plan was to put it on that Englewood engaged, probably this week or early next week. So about a month before the event. I will say for that though, kind of the minimum that we need for kind of a run is 4 people. So I'll be there, and then 1 representative from Littleton will be there. So that kind of leaves about 2 people for each shift. So, if we can't, I'll try to find it through volunteers, but if we can't, just kind of keep that, slot open if you can, for the 18th and 25th from 8 to 2. If any of you guys are wanting to volunteer for that, it'd make it a lot easier on me.
Yeah, what we've done in the past is kind of split the shift from, so we have 3-hour shifts and so if it's on Englewood engaged, does anybody have anything going that week that they know they are those dates that they know they can't be there? Or other than that, I think it would be good to have one of us at least in the mornings. So just I'll be in contact with you, and we do have one more meeting before, but expect it to, if you can, be free for a 3-hour stint on one of those 2 dates.
I can't find it on engaged, or I'll just go ahead and block it off.
It's not on there yet.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I didn't want to put it out too early, and then kind of have it die out. So I was thinking probably in the next week or so, I'll have it
Cool.
out there. It's about a month before the.
Yeah. You can count me for one of those 3-hour shifts.
Okay, great. And I will be there probably on the 18th, and if we need, I can be there, I think the 25th, but that's a little more iffy.
Yeah, if you guys have one of those 4 shifts that kind of jumps out at you, just if you could shoot me an email, and then that way I'll keep that in mind for when we're looking for all these other volunteers.
Forgive me, Will, did you send out those time blocks already?
It'll be 8 to 11 and 11 to 2
Okay,
on September 18th and 25th.
cool. I could do 11 to 2. I'll just email you. I'll do 11 to 2 on the 18th, unless that's what Bob was planning on doing.
No, I'll do the morning shift.
That's what he said.
Hmm.
That's what he
I'll-
said. I mean, it's fine either way. Even if you all both want to do that one, that's great too.
Cool. Yeah, I'll email you. I'll be on the 18th.
Cool.
Okay, so we're approaching getting it covered then, and I'll see if I can maybe drum up some volunteers too. Do we need anything else?
Yeah, Tim, not to bring this on you, but I see you're still on the call. Did we want to talk about the holiday lighting? I don't know.
Sure, I'm here. Yeah, so we had kind of, so Will and I and a few folks from community development went through kind of the current programming of the department, or sorry, of the commission, and basically talked about, okay, do these programs fit with the new bylaws and the new structure? And we felt that all of them did. with the exception of the holiday lighting. And so we just kind of had an internal staff discussion that maybe that could fit under our communications department, under our neighborhood program, neighborhood coordinator, but that the commission could still play a role, perhaps in being the group that makes the decisions, the kind of panel, so to speak, that votes on it, whatever you'd like to do. But that is an idea we just wanted to share with you, of maybe kind of shifting the management, so to speak, of that program to community, to neighborhood relations.
Yeah, that would be fine with me. Do we need to vote on that, or can we, is that an internal matter or what?
What do you think, Will?
I think just kind of gauging opinion. I mean, we're not beholden to do it anyways, so, we're happy to vote, but I don't think you guys necessarily to vote.
Okay,
Don't want to.
I mean, some of the discussions that we've had within the committee, in fact, are within the commission. I don't think even some of them are here that we were talking about it last year, that we really didn't even need to continue it. But if there's a willingness to continue, then we could do the judging or whatever and go from there. But that might be something that we can look at in the next couple months. Does that work for you, Tim?
Yeah, that definitely works.
Okay,
Other than that, I have nothing else.
okay. What about the leaf recycling? Have we got anything more from Littleton or Ray Dates or?
I emailed, so Dave Flagg used to be their kind of their liaison or their kind of person for that thing, and he retired. And so I emailed his replacement, and it seemed like they were still in some pretty early phases of figuring it out for this year. So I don't have anything in particular on it. I know they were talking about maybe shifting it back a week or two than what it normally was, just to hopefully have more leaves falling by the time it starts. But yeah, it'll be sometime in either late October or early November. But beyond that, I don't have any other information.
Okay. Well, we can discuss that. I'll make sure we put that on the September agenda, and we'll probably have to finalize something then.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, that covers everything I had on the agenda.
I have a question.
Yes, Logan.
I didn't hear in the beginning, was there a resignation from the commission?
Yes, there was. So Raphael has resigned. So yeah, she's no longer on the commission.
Okay, and what's the timeline or process to fill that?
Do you know when the next appointment set is?
I think it's November, December.
It
Okay.
seems to me, yeah, that
Every
it's,
6 months.
Yeah, that sounds right.
it seems
Okay.
to me that we usually are looking at new members by January. So
Yeah.
I think that's a good fit if we are solidified in the sustainability model instead of KEB. I think we can maybe be more attractive and we can go from there. Yeah, Raphael had a job change and she had also moved, so she wasn't even in Englewood, so.
One reason. So we'll have second reading here in a few weeks is what I heard. This might be for Councilman Anderson, and then it'll be official. And then by the time we're looking for new applicants, we'll be advertising as the Englewood Sustainability Commission. Is that correct?
Yeah, I believe so. It's, yeah, second real reading will be next week.
Next week.
And then I think it's 30 days when it goes into effect. So after that will be when we can start recruiting.
Thank you.
Yeah, great. Yeah, this is coming together rapidly now, so that's good. Okay, does anybody have any other questions, topics, concerns? I just appreciate that we were able to get a quorum tonight. So we can keep this moving forward in a timely manner. If there's nothing else, the chair will entertain a motion to adjourn.
Yeah, I'll move to adjourn.
Second,
I'll second.
thanks, Kara. All in favor? Wave goodbye.
Thanks, y'all. Good to see
Thank
you.
you.
Bye, everyone.
Thanks, everybody.
Good night.
Good night.